All right, guys, just a few more minutes.
Ciao.
All right, guys, just a few more minutes.
Sorry. Too bright.
All right, just a few more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. We're just giving some folks some time to join. Okay. All right, guys. Hey, Ousters. Thank you so much for joining us for another live with Oust Sunday.
Hey, everyone.
We're here.
We appreciate it. Thank you for being here. You could spend this time with anybody, and we thank you for spending your valuable time with us.
Absolutely. And today we're doing things a little bit different. I don't know if you can see our little backdrop, and this is kind of what we're going to try to do going forward, trying to step it up a notch. And as you can see, today we're talking about a damn shame.
Girl, a whole damn
Mhm.
shame.
Yes. It's not even funny. Maybe that's hysterical laughter. It
It's
might be
not.
hysterical laughter. Maybe it's the half a cup of wine I've been sipping on.
Girl,
I'm a lightweight. I have to admit it. Mm,
mm,
mm. But we decided to name this a damn shame because what's happening here is a damn shame. We've got
mm.
shout out to all the moms who are doing their thing and doing it and doing the best that they can. Even when mistakes happen, most moms who are trying their best to be a good mom would not let something like this happen. So, we're going to talk about a few moms, and we're not trying to dog you guys out, but damn, there's no way a mom, a halfway decent mom, is going to leave their kid at home by themselves, abandoned, for, as rumor has it, for a little bit of tail or for some tail. Yeah.
Um, the kids, I feel so badly for the kids. I believe I don't want to be wrong in my facts. So you might have to fact check me, right? Because it was three cases that I heard of
Hmm.
all together. But one of the mothers, which is the one that was a pursuing a rap career, her baby, that poor child actually lost,
Hmm.
was unalived. I have to be careful how I say things because I forget that we are on social media and I forget.
That's right.
So
And that was allegedly. Okay.
allegedly.
Allegedly. That's right. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
That would be Chantel
Thank you.
Gardner out of Indianapolis, who, now I'm not sure
Okay.
about the rap career part of it, but we do know that she arrived home, called 911 after finding her 2-year-old a 2-year old unresponsive under a dresser. And when the police arrived and did a sweep of the home, they found horrid, this is a quote again, but this is all alleged. They found, to quote, horrid conditions, including rotting food, feces smeared on the walls and furniture, and trash scattered across the residence.
Right.
Now, I'm not really sure what this woman's reasonings were. I just don't think that there's any reason. There's no justification. There's no way that you can validate an action like this. We are talking about a 2-year-old. 2-year olds can't fend for themselves. They can't change their own diapers or feed themselves at 2. I do understand making sacrifices as a parent, but this was not it. There's no excusing this.
I agree. I have been following a lot of the content on social media platforms. You know, I stay away
Mm-hmm.
from the news. I, so I follow a lot of platforms on social media, and allegedly, when the autopsy was done on this child, this child allegedly had a mattress where the child alleged, I
Mm-hmm.
keep saying that because I want to make sure, allegedly they found mattress and hair in the child's stomach
What?
from, I guess, from assuming it was from, starvation, trying to find something to eat. And yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So,
yeah, allegedly. I heard that on one of the content providers that I follow on YouTube. I don't want to put their name out there, but yeah, that was supposedly something that
wow.
was on the news.
Well, I mean, I am looking at Fox 8, and the child did seem, there seemed to be bruising. Goodness gracious.
Mhm,
The mother,
mhm.
she denies any knowledge of any of abuse, but the child had bruises all over them, all over her, over the child rather. And she was out there staying with her boyfriend's house every fucking night. Excuse me. Hope I don't get dinged for that. What? What?
For her to say, I'm so sorry. I've been sick, and so my voice just keeps doing this awful thing. I feel like I sound real masculine. um, for her to say that she doesn't know of any abuse is absolutely absurd to me, because the children, because it was more than one, from my understanding, correct?
I don't think so. I think that was
I
Michigan.
think it was
I
more
think
than.
that was a family in Michigan.
Oh, okay. So I'm
I
thinking
could be
about the
wrong.
wrong. Okay,
Mm.
but it's a 2-year old that you left home by herself. We don't see that as abuse and neglect.
You're right. It was a.
Like, you can't.
You're right.
It
Two,
was another
a two
child there,
and
right? It
two
was a
and a three
boy,
year
right?
old. 2 and a 3 year old.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. And so you left two children underage at home, and then's gonna say, I don't recall no abuse. Uh,
So I mean, not for nothing, but if you're at home, you boo thing's house every night. I don't know what that looks like. I'm assuming maybe 12 hours out the day, you're not home. So
okay.
theoretically, maybe this person had a job. So there's another 8 hours out the day. And then what's
I
left? I mean,
Listen,
I think she probably won't ever home if she was a gainfully employed person. So who was watching these kids this whole time?
clearly nobody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Allegedly, alleged.
So I guess she wouldn't know, but she didn't go home and pick up no clothes, feed them. How could you not know? There's allegations of SA in there, so like, how could you? How do you? How do you not know?
Well, if she would make up all of these stories about where these children are,
Mm-hmm.
allegedly, she made up all these stories about who or where these children, who these kids was with, and where these children were. Um, I don't believe
Oh
nothing she
no, absolutely
say.
not.
I,
Absolutely not.
I, I'm pretty sure you don't, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm sure you don't know any abuse. I'm positive.
Absolutely not. Because you're not home.
That doesn't it
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me. Oh, I'm pretty sure she was home when it was convenient. I have no doubt in my mind, if that makes sense. Because that child had to be being abused by somebody.
Fair.
Now, it could have been from all of the, I mean,
The
the house
conditions.
itself was really
Yeah.
unsafe. So some of the some of the bruises that they found on this child or children allegedly could really be from them fending for themselves, right?
That's fair.
In, in, in this
That's
trash
fair.
dump.
Yeah.
Um, Now that does not explain the possible
Mm-mm.
SA.
Yeah.
You
That.
know,
I mean, clearly
yeah.
something going
Now
on.
that's
I mean,
something.
I don't understand how you even. I don't even understand like the conditions of the home. You're right, because if it was that bad, and they're
Mhm.
not really, they're kind of mobile. You would assume at 2, you're probably walking at that point, but there's no one to supervise walking. 2 and 3 year
Right,
old. I'm trying to think back because like my youngest, he was walking at 10 months. So I was like, wait a minute. So, but if your
right,
child is walking around 10 months, anywhere to a year, maybe a little bit later than that. Every child is different. But some of that bruising could 100% have occurred during, based on the conditions of the home. It's still not an excuse. Like there's
right.
just no excusing it. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Um, but I hope like she is facing a potentially 40 years in prison and fines. I hope they throw the book at her behind. I really do. Because if you felt
Girl,
like at some point you were struggling, ask for help. And if you don't have a support system, that's a fair thing. Not everyone has a support system. And I'm not saying DSS gets it right all the time, but they would have gotten it right in this instance.
um, so when you say
Hmm.
support system, I think both of these cases, her case and um all three, right? There were some issues up here. It had
Oh
to
yeah,
be.
yeah,
I, I, I- it had to be something, a disconnect in here, something going on upstairs, right? Not only that, but um, I mean, not there's a lot of people that do not have a
hmm,
support system.
very true.
There's a lot of single mothers that do not have a good support system. They're not doing
Absolutely, but then
this.
she could have reached out to social services herself. Like, if you don't want to do the right thing, you like, I don't want to. Maybe you're too prideful to be like, I can't take care of these kids. I'm clearly not taking care of them well. There's like, you may not have,
She was looking good,
not in this picture. Was she? Sorry.
not in the picture, but if you looked at some of her posts on
Hmm.
her social media, both of them, they were looking out, they was looking
Yeah,
good in
but we
these
know how it is
streets.
with social media. Everyone wants to put this big picture like everything is great, but
That's true.
we can't judge
That's
by social
true.
media because social media is
That's true.
is social, and it can sometimes have, give false impressions of who they are. Like, you always hear these stories about people like renting $1 million houses, renting houses so that way they can give the appearance of having a lot of wealth when they're just
Right.
trying to fake it to make it, which, okay, fine. But,
Right.
social media, I think, is not always a full judge of someone, of where someone's at in their health. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. But my point is,
mhm.
you both of them,
The lady from
right?
Michigan
Fa- Found
to get
time
cute.
to get cute for social media. As a matter of fact, yeah, excuse my voice. I don't mean to sound like I'm hollering or, so forgive me. Yeah. Thank you
Mm.
for listening to this. And, it's a lot going on over here. Um, but Kelly Bryant
Hmm.
from Michigan, she even showed stuff on her social media about doing a food drive and donating food. But your three
Seriously.
children are living in that shit. I'm
You
sorry. Did
did.
I
It's
curse?
fine.
Did I curse? Sorry. I hope we don't get paid.
What?
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Barb.
Thank you. Hey,
Now, Miss Barb is one
Barbara.
of our day one, so we always appreciate her support. So wait a second,
Yeah.
she did things on social media talking about food drives. I swear,
Yeah,
looking good for the
yes.
public.
Yes.
What honor?
Yes. So you find the time to do that. You have time to get your hair did and be looking good for all your social media posts. And you find the time to post all of these, well, not all of these, I'm not gonna say all of these, allegedly a
Hmm.
food drive where you got all of these foods in these
I know.
bins and you're doing this stuff for the community.
Yeah, and Miss Bryant out of,
You got three kids at
am I saying her not?
home.
Am I saying her name right? Miss Bryant out of
Um,
Michigan. I mean, not for nothing, Kelly Bryant. Yes, I mean, I know. Dang, how does that happen? With Miss Bryant alleged, with her alleged charges, like, I'm shocked that if the conditions of the apartment were so bad, the name, like, if it's like there is a smell that comes with waste, and I'm
mm,
surprised if this person's living in
I'm sorry.
like an apartment building of sorts, or even it
I'm
looks
so
almost
sorry.
like a townhouse. You can smell that. Eventually,
Mhm,
will become so rank that you can kind of smell it through the walls, through the doors. That has a smell. If you have three kids in a
mhm,
home with no
mm,
running water, and there's feces anywhere, how come? So when you walk past it, you didn't smell it. The super that doesn't see her in months and says, something's going on after rent not being paid. So from October, he hadn't seen her, or rent hadn't been paid since October.
mm,
You don't, like, just
mhm.
mosey on by your property. You don't smell that smell that comes with waste. Where this woman had three kids and she had them. When did she leave them? In about 2021, 2020, allegedly? That's 5 damn years.
Allegedly.
5 years.
Yeah,
Those kids were living in that
yeah.
house for 5 years, not going to school, no running water. I bet I probably didn't have no heat. And for what?
Mhm.
Now your ass is gonna be in jail.
And
You deserve
rightfully so.
every minute of that time.
Why?
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Hashtag mom life. Hey, followers. Listen, we have stuff that we're going live on Sundays, and usually on a Sunday, got to get ready for school on Monday, got to get ready for work. And sometimes this is just how it rolls, when we live stream, because that's life. And hashtag mom life.
here since 5.
They're now teenagers and preteen. The oldest was 11, 11, 8, and 9. So 16. The oldest is now about 16 years old. And what was she off doing? Living a whole nother life?
So hold up. Say that one more time. The ages was what for
11,
the?
8, and 9.
I
And
missed it.
I think it was 2020. The children were 8, 11, and 9. So now they would be
Wow.
16. I don't know, man. Listen, I can't count. What, 14 and 12? Please don't judge me.
One one is 12, one
Okay.
is 13, and
16.
the one is
16.
15.
If they were
16?
11 and it's been about
15.
5 years, they'd be about 16 now. Don't
Okay.
even matter. Even 1 year is too long. Of months is too long.
Girl, one night. One
Yeah.
night. How old were
I mean,
they?
they were young. Like I not for nothing. Like I wouldn't I know in my state it's legal to depending on maturity, they so always put that as a factor. But they don't even put that in the factor of the law. They say at 10, you can leave your child at home for small periods of time. I won't let my kid walk down the block by himself.
But not
Hell
overnight,
no. That's what I'm saying. Like
honey.
I wouldn't run to the store, which is maybe 15 minutes away. I
Right,
wouldn't run to the store and leave my
right,
kid because one, I know he's not mature enough for it. But shit can happen. Like shit can happen at any point. So like
right.
why would you play with fire like that?
Selfish.
Um, yeah.
Selfish to a whole nother level. Selfish, immature, and definitely a
Something wrong. Mhm.
disconnect. Something up there. Something ain't right.
I what
Because you knew enough. You knew enough to get your stuff together.
oh, she knew enough to also do food drops. It's
It's
not.
not funny. It's the way you said it. Girl, I'm sorry.
I mean, come on now. Like she knew enough to do food
Well,
drops.
I've also heard that that one that was doing the food drops, um, also would go and sit outside. They said that she would sit outside for hours, outside of the home for hours.
For what?
I- Maybe maybe that's her way of saying I'm making sure they're okay. I don't know. I don't have a justification for any of it. But she did from my understanding, one of the neighbors had said that he would see her sitting out there for hours. She wouldn't go, excuse me, she wouldn't go in the house, but she would be
I
outside
mean, I
sitting for
bet. I
hours.
mean, if there's feces all over the place, I mean, that might be the problem. But like, go in there and fucking clean up.
Why don't you clean, girl? You girl. I was about to say, well, why you
First of
ain't
all,
go there
don't
for clean?
don't leave.
Shut up.
Excuse me, don't leave them there. I mean, if they were so young at the time, like I remember reading somewhere that the children didn't even know how to properly flush a toilet or brush their
Flush a
teeth.
toilet, basic hygiene.
Come on,
Brush their teeth.
and they didn't leave the house.
They didn't even know
They didn't
proper
leave the
hygiene.
house.
They didn't leave the house.
I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, I understand people live different. Like, you don't expect everyone to live like the same traditional like thing, but this,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And look, I don't know. Some people might feel some type of way when I say this, but where the hell are they fathers?
yes. Where are they?
Where where the hell are they fathers?
Great question.
Like nobody knew. Where's your dad?
Not present.
Where's the other? Well,
Hmm.
clearly. Now from allegedly, I believe it is. Hold on, let me. Allegedly, um, Kelly Bryant, the one from Michigan, from allegedly, I don't want to get my stories mixed up because like I've heard three different stories. I just can't think of um the other lady's name. But the father was trying to see
Mm.
the kids, from my understanding, with the Kelly Bryant case. But I believe she wouldn't allow the visitations or was coming up with reasons for not doing visitations or whatever. I'm pretty sure she was coming up with some shit to not do
It
visitations.
must have been
I'm
some really good
certain.
tales.
And then you know what part puzzles me? Um, she had a whole nother kid that she took with her.
Really? Wow.
So she had four kids. She took the one son and left the rest of them there to fend for
So let me.
themselves.
So the
And
person
that
that I'm
shit.
assuming the person that she was with, they didn't know from the beginning that she had four kids and she only arrived with one. That's not a red flag to somebody.
So don't quote me on this, but someone had posted some pictures of a little boy that she took with her. And that child, they had pictures of him with his grandfather, I
Hmm.
believe it was. If anybody is familiar with, excuse me, girl, this cold is really effing me up here. Um, if anybody is familiar with these cases, please leave
Mm.
it in the comments. Like if you have information that we are
Hmm.
missing, facts that we are missing, put it in the comments. And also, if you are here with us, please let us know where you are joining us from. We're not going to stay on here really long because tension spans. We get it,
And it's Sunday. Tomorrow's
right?
Monday.
And it's Sunday. Kids
Got to
got
be
school
up, bright eyed and
tomorrow.
bushy tails for work.
I don't know about bright eyed and bushy tail, but I'm gonna be up. That I'll be. That I'll be. Um, but clearly the fathers were not involved, and allegedly the case, the Chantel
Miss Gardner.
Gardner, from allegedly, rumor has it, I believe the boyfriend is going to be, or they're looking at charges for him.
Good.
He's he's trying to say he didn't know anything about it. He actually tried to do some what is it, PR? Like he made some posts saying, "Hey, she told me that the kids were X, Y, and Z, and I didn't know where the kids were, and they weren't his kids." And that's what I'm gonna say. Even them not being your kids, you not asking questions. Cause see, before I'm looking at a relationship with somebody, shouldn't you be seeing what their relationship like with their kids? Do they have
Do you think
kids? Shouldn't you be
you think
seeing
he was
those
really looking for
things?
a relationship?
Wouldn't you be knowing? Oh, now that I don't know. I know they was all on social media posting how,
Really?
yeah, they little rap life, her little rap career.
Well, I hope was it worth it, ma'am? Was it worth it? Now you got one child who's no longer here, and you're facing what
Right.
40 years? Like that doesn't even make sense.
And rightfully
It don't even
so.
make sense. Like I hope they throw. Sorry about. I hate. I don't know if this is the right term, whatever. But I hope they throw the book at you behind because you deserve it
Period.
all the time that you
Absolutely.
get.
Like you left them, I'm not saying that either one is better than the other, but at least damn Kelly fed the kids.
No, I did think that, and I was like,
At least she fed the
she
damn
left them.
kids. She dropped food off. I, listen to me. I'm not saying that either one is better than the other, but she fed the damn kids.
Mm.
This one left a 3 and a 2-year-old to fend for themselves. The poor child allegedly eating hair and mattress and God knows what else.
I can't imagine.
Damn shame. Damn shame. Damn
I
shame.
think now I'm a say this, and this is not something that I have disclosed often, but a very long time ago, I was older. I want to say maybe 11, 10, 11, 12-ish. It was a long time ago, I don't remember. I was left at home for a week. And I was older, and my sister did kind of come back and forth to check on me. And when I think back to that time, I'd be like, what kind of reckless bullshit is this? Excuse me. Like, as an adult now, I look back at that and I'm like, that's really effed up. Like, as a parent, as now, especially now that I'm a parent, and that's like I said earlier, I would never leave like my youngest even to run up the store for 10 minutes. Even though I know legally I could, I would never do that. One, that child would be scared. Like the dark. Like, you don't want to scare your kids that way. But when I was a kid, that did happen to me. And I was like, wow, I don't know as a mother if I would ever do some shit like that. But I guess like, I don't know. I don't know.
So I'm I'm sorry. I'm a little bit
Mm-hmm.
confused. So
Yeah.
so our sister would come
Mm-hmm.
check on you,
Yeah. And
but she was not
no,
living there.
no, he was not. So if I think about it, so I might have been about 10. If I think about the ages of it, so I might have been I was my youngest age.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And like, I think I was mature enough to handle myself. But when I think back to it, I was like, you're lucky I'm mature enough to handle myself and not burn the fucking house down.
But you think she
It's
knew that?
possible. But I'm sitting here like, that was risky.
It's still not
No.
justified. It's not. But as a parent, you kind of do know
For a whole week?
most of the time. No, I'm not saying you're
Yeah,
gonna leave
yeah,
children home for a
yeah.
week. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But I'm saying as a
Mhm.
as a parent, we usually know, just like you said out the gate, hey, not mine, because I know my 10-year-old can't handle it,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? But I look at your niece,
Mhm.
she's 11. She could probably handle it. I'm not saying we're
Mhm.
leaving her
I know.
home
I
for a
got
week.
you. I
That's not what
know.
I'm saying. What I'm please don't put that out there in these streets. Okay? That's not what I'm saying.
We're just
Let's
saying
be clear.
maturity. That's all.
We're saying maturity level here. That
Mhm.
is it.
Mhm.
Okay? Period. Okay. Um, but I have a whole 23-year-old that I don't want to leave at my house.
Like, no, just no.
No, no, no. And I always know, I used to always know when he was home from college. Always. When he was in school, I would always know when he was home from school, when he was home from college, because from the time you walk in to the time you lay eyes on him, a
So
trail of
you'd be
mess.
like, let me find this.
Just,
Just follow the crumbs.
oh yeah, my kid is home. But kids are not
Mhm.
the cleanest. You do have to stay on them, and it does get hard, especially with multiple
Yeah.
kids. I'm a parent with multiple kids. It's a struggle,
Mm-hmm.
right? But um, yeah, like maturity level might have played a part in your case. Maybe. Not saying it was right. It was absolutely wrong. And you know what? It's crazy the shit.
It's a different time.
Damn, I'm study cussing. That's what I was about to say. Yo, I remember being
a
cars.
different time.
Girl, I've been left in the car plenty of times. You leave a kid in a damn car now and
I,
see what happens. It's a different time.
it is.
How you can't even leave a dog in a
You
car?
know, if you grew up when we grew up, if you watch Stranger Things, what those kids are doing, they're out and about and their parents have no clue what they're doing. That's the era that we
Girl,
grew up in.
they guess life. That's
Okay.
it. Gone. Ride the trains,
Go to
ride the
Coney
buses.
Island.
Yep. Go to Coney
Okay.
Island. Go hang out. Go to Central Park. Go do your thing. See you when you
Yeah.
get
With
back.
like no questions asked.
Right?
How was your day? Great. And I don't even remember saying like what we did that day. We just was out and about. I don't want to say running the streets because we weren't really getting into
Hmm.
mischief, but we were just out there having fun mostly.
It's definitely a different age. It's definitely. I'm scared to my kids, especially the younger ones. They get so angry with me because I'm scary. They want to go over their
Oh,
friend's house. They want to
really?
go in. They want to go get on the trampoline. They want no. And right now they don't get it. Just like for example, I'll take my oldest child that is um um yeah, I'll tell you. But anyway, I'll take
Mhm.
her for example. Um who's in college, she comes back and tells me all the time that she's happy that I was like
Mhm.
that with her. No, you're not going to spend the night in nobody's house.
Yeah. Oh, we don't do that. There's only one
No, you're
house
not.
that we really would we have no qualms about, and that is it.
And she said all the time, she's like, Mom, I appreciate the fact that you was like that. And when you did eventually kind of loosen up that string, I was older, like high
Mhm.
school, and she had a clear understanding.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like we don't do, and I know it's kind of like we're different. It's kind of on topic in the sense of we parent way different from how it was than we grew up. But even still,
Hmm.
our parents,
Hmm.
like, I mean, we have one incident where it's like, man, that was kind of risky, but it worked out well, thank God. But girl, thank God. Thank God. I guess it's a good thing I learned how to cook at a certain age. Like I tell my youngest, I'm like, do you know I was cooking full meals at your age? Like full meals. Like he don't get
Yeah,
it. And I'm like, dude,
yeah,
you don't understand it. But it is a comparison of how
yeah,
much parenting has changed over the years. Like, and if anything, it's
yeah,
gotten harder over the years because now we understand that we have to be more present. And now you've got devices and all that stuff that kind of makes
yeah.
it harder to be present because even we can get
Hmm.
distracted as they are. Now we know. So parenting is getting harder over the
Hmm.
years. And we understand that very much so. But even still, there's no amount of difficult parenting that can make this okay. There's no amount of, hey, I want to go out there and live my life. Yeah, you can do that when your kids are grown. Sure. With the rap career, it might be a little too late for you by the time. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean.
Girl.
I'm not trying to be mean. However, you can still pursue your dreams without, in fact,
Mm-mm.
impacting the life of your kids. You
Ma'am,
can. You
ma'am,
can.
ma'am, 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 there's some dreams that you just have to
Okay.
let go.
But we don't know how what her talent level of talent was.
You don't believe that?
Yes, but we don't know her level of talent. I wasn't gonna watch her social media to see if she was talented or anything like that. Like I'm not into young
Me
artists and
either.
stuff like that. She could have been
Right.
talented. So we're not saying that you can't fully pursue. Yes, you can, but you can balance it out with parenting your kid properly, or at least have someone who is can take care of your kids and take care of them, not abuse them. I mean, I have now maybe it's the stuff that I've watched, but I do watch, I used to, not anymore. But I have watched shows in the past and they're reality TV of women who, yes, they have kids and somehow they are able to pursue a rap career, but they also had a support system in parents or siblings that helped them with their kids while they were out traveling. So it's doable. So like it's not,
Mhm.
like you can still do that, but the reality is sometimes you got to hang that shit up because it's not about you anymore.
That part. That's that selfish.
Sometimes you got to hang it up.
That's that.
Hang it up. Like that. Okay, maybe it can happen. Do what you can while you can, but your priority is your kids one. That's priority one, not you. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I don't know. I'm shocked that, but then I guess we shouldn't be because come the new year, we've had a few cases of this kind of popping up in the media. And then even there was that thing where that poor woman, her and her children, like they froze in the car.
Mhm.
And where was the father? On social media talking about it. Where was you when your baby mama and your kids were sleeping in the car? Where were you then?
Ain't had nowhere to go.
Where were you
That
then?
part. Could you read Miss Barbara's comment? Because I can't. Because I got food in my mouth as always.
You are right. Okay, so you guys on TikTok and Facebook. So our day one, Miss Barb, she says, you have to pursue quality people in your life so that you can be supported by others, so that you can try to achieve your dreams. See, that's what I was saying right there. Like you gotta
Absolutely.
find your circle
Absolutely.
too, but a quality circle, people that are really gonna support you. That's fair.
That's it. That's
That
it.
is fair.
That's it right there. I tell my kids all the time, please be better than
Hmm.
me. Do great things.
Absolutely.
Right? Like let me live. I tell my like let me live through you. My daughter, you know, she's doing things. She's doing a lot of
Hmm.
positive things. Like, girl, let me live through you. You in school, you doing a damn thing. You about to be married.
See, that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
girl, I
And
live through
that's the
you.
follow up, you guys. So the follow up message. Thank you, Bubs and Mo. Sorry, we are going live on a few platforms, so we're not going to catch every comment. But our Miss Barbara also followed up to say, if not, be a dreamer for your children and live out your dreams to them. Absolutely. Like your kids are, they didn't ask to be here. We chose to bring them here. So on that note, you made that choice. So you have to
Mhm.
do what's right as the best that you can when it comes to parenting. Like, even if you got to hang it up for now, maybe it's something you could pursue in the future when your kid gets above 2 or 3. Just saying. And then for the other lady,
You
I
think?
mean, 3 kids. She's trying to live her 4 kids, trying
Or,
to live her best life with a whole
ma'am,
new family on the other side of town, leaving 3 kids in squalor. I can't. I don't know what kind of crap is that. Agreed. Definitely gotta be something wrong with you. Yeah. Or something. There's a wire mix somewhere. I'm not. I think about the woman in Michigan, in Detroit. Like I look at her case kind of differently because I look at the time that it happened, and it was right around 2020, and we all know. Like, I'm not excusing anything that she did. We all know what 2020 brought,
what
and
happened?
I think it did
Hmm.
highlight a lot of mental health concerns for a lot of people. Clearly, she was a single mother. Um, and I think that for some people, that time period may have brought about, like, yo, I'm gonna live my life. And you're entitled, but not when you have kids that you have to take care of. You can't go ahead and leave them behind.
Oh, okay.
There. I was like,
Period.
that would be great, but you have a responsibility to your kids first, and then you can go live your life. And do it up once they're up
Hmm.
and out your household. You know what I'm saying? Like, at that point, then it's free game.
And even then, sometimes you can't go out there and live it because they come
Mm.
back.
Sometimes there is that.
I'm like,
Sometimes there's
dang,
that.
you're not living your. Sometimes I feel like, man, maybe I really didn't.
Mm-mm.
Girl, did you hear it?
Did you
Okay, thank
burp?
God. No, my
Oh,
alarm.
no, I didn't hear it. I was like,
Girl.
Dateline. This is a running joke. This
Everybody
is a
ain't gotta
running joke
know.
for us because, well, as I don't watch Dateline, there's someone here that does. Naming no names. I don't
Thankfully,
watch that Dateline stuff.
thankfully, I look. 48 hours, Dateline, girl, you name it. Any girl, I laughed so hard because someone actually posted a joke about that. They said they stopped watching the news and they just watch every crime
No,
documentary.
nah. I try to stay away from the news as well,
That's
but
so
I
me.
didn't divert
That's
to the
me.
other stuff either. No.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you.
Mm,
I watch it all. I always
mm-mm.
have, though. I always have. I've always been into that kind of thing. I think in another life I might have been Matlock or something.
Oh, oh, that's a fair point. So I can't say how many times parents have stated to me, "It was done to me and nothing happened." Guaranteed, this is intergenerational stuff. That's a fair point.
Mm.
Hmm.
Girl, that was so
It
profound it
really
stopped
was. I
me.
was like, I gotta sit with this for a minute. I had to sit with this for a minute. Girl, we're both got us both like,
Girl, some of the people that I've dated, I'm surprised my ass ain't wind up on Dateline.
oh no.
That was ugly. I want you to know I'm gonna find me a boo thing. And I'm not gonna be on Dateline. I just wanna okay?
That
Okay.
wasn't Barbara. No, the show Daylight. She-
That shit is funny.
Tonight on Dateline.
You play too much.
Oh, that was funny. Sorry, we
That was
went from
good.
like
It
really thought provoking
was
to
good.
Dateline, like dating in like a hot second. You know, I would sit with that for a little bit, but you're right. Guarantee this is intergenerational stuff. I mean, that's true, and I can speak to that.
Probably.
Well, I can. I can't actually. I'm lying. I wish I could, but I'm not. Um, but yeah, and I'm just saying, yeah, I can't speak to that. Yeah, but I can see it. But I got it now.
Hmm.
Tonight, daylight.
We interrupt this broadcast
Oh man.
coming from the Carolina.
Barbara, that was great. That was really thought provoking. I love that. Mm,
Yeah, it's
hmm,
true. It really is. Some stuff, some parenting stuff is really passed down from generations. Maybe because that's all we
hmm,
knew.
hmm.
And that's what, not saying that it's right, but that was so
Yeah,
profound.
it'd be interesting to follow these cases to see kind of where it goes because it's new into the new year, and once charges gets filed, they got to set court dates and go through all of that. I would love to be able to do like maybe a follow up episode on this as things come out. Um, yeah, it'd be a good one to follow both of these cases, especially like Michigan.
I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
I think so.
Um, but we did
I
promise we weren't gonna
do.
be out here too long. That we
Mhm.
did. Thank you, Barbara. We thank you so much for your support. Like every time we're on here, we at least have one of our day ones is gonna pop in to show that support, which we really
Mhm.
appreciate. And thank you. We appreciate all the support we're getting for our podcast. Absolutely.
We really do. And feedback, as always, feedback. We cannot grow without you. There is no excuse, and sure, there is some mental health concerns.
For sure.
Absolutely. We're not
For sure.
excusing it. 100%. cannot agree with you
Mhm.
more. Me and T um have had episodes about mental health, and she has definitely been my support system through my meltdowns.
Ring. Kind of like that. Kind of how I go. Yes.
And and you're so
No, wait.
kind and so patient.
She
You
did it
just
better.
listen. I can imagine this is you. This is you, right? You had to pull it away from your ear. I know. I
I
can only
remember saying,
imagine.
like, look, don't make me a witness. I'm going to hang up. I have had those moments. Just call me when you're done.
Um,
Ripping someone a new butthole
I don't want to have to
verbally.
I don't want to have to testify against you in a court of law, so I'm going to eliminate myself from this situation, and I'll talk to you a little later.
Now we're just joking, all
Um,
right? Just.
yeah, it's all in fun because this situation is definitely not a
Definitely not.
laughing matter
Yeah.
by any means. These poor children that have suffered through this, and that poor little girl, only 2 years old,
Yeah.
lost her life. So it definitely is a serious thing. I would like to say, if this is your situation and you have not been found out, let's fix it. Let's ask for some help. Let's get you and those kids some help. If that is your situation, um, we don't know where to tell you to go other than social services. However, if you email us, I think we would take the time to try to see how to get you some help. No?
I mean, we prefer you
Yes.
to like resources in your state, your city and
Yeah,
state. It's kind of what we
that's
would
what I'm
do.
trying to say. Said
Um,
it. Right.
because we so one of us does a lot of traveling and stuff like that. So we would be happy to put you in touch with the resources for your area. But
That
social
it. That's it.
services is really going to be key here. Like I would respect someone 100% more if they decided to say,
Mhm.
"Hey, look, I am struggling. I need some help." And we'll end the episode soon. We are going to wrap it up, but I do remember about last year with a mother. Now she shouldn't have went on social media with it. She really shouldn't have. But where she went to social services and the internet came at her hard, where she was just saying, "I need help with her kids." I respect that woman more than I would
Mhm.
these two, because here she said, "I need help. I need support."
Mhm.
There is nothing wrong with
I
asking
agree.
for that support. She felt like she couldn't handle it.
Right.
And instead of just saying, "Hey, that's really brave of you," they came after her like she was the worst mother on earth. Now tell me, who is the worst mother on earth in this moment right now? These two here?
I think that may even play a part in why we are seeing things like this.
Mm,
That may be part of the
fair.
issue, is that when we reach out, or when people have reached out, they have been frowned upon or judged, or feel like they didn't really get the help they needed. Um, so that might be, I'm not saying that that is a reason. I'm not giving
Mhm.
anyone an out. That's not what I'm doing. But what I am saying is that sometimes being that honest is what the struggle
Mm,
is.
very fair. So, like, if you, like Janine said, if you are struggling with this, ask for help. But if you know of someone who comes forward and is struggling with this, like, we're judging these,
Yes.
I can't even lie, I'm judging these two women. And I know that's wrong of me. So I have to have a conversation with God about that. However, but if you know of someone or suspect of someone who might be neglecting their children, there's nothing wrong with saying anything. It's okay to speak up and stop judging the women that do come forward because they're brave
Mhm.
enough to say something that they need help. Yes. So Miss Barb, she said church
Yeah.
groups, celebrate recovery.
Mhm.
You can look for those people that you can connect with when you're in need. Celebrate Recovery, from what I understand, is a phenomenal program, and they help with a lot of things across the board. It's not just one aspect, and it's through the church, which is also phenomenal. If you are looking, if you are, even if you're not looking for something that's faith based. Um,
And
mm,
I appreciate her for that because that is very
mm-hmm,
true. Social services is very scary for parents. I really it is. And I can literally say from
mm,
personal experience because when I was going through that's very toxic situation with a co-parent, it was false allegations, but um just the tension, just the on edge. You know what I'm saying? That took place during that time. But honey, they come over, we've talked about it. They'll come over and I'll be like, hey, listen, help yourself, walk through the house, do what you need to do.
yeah. And that,
Here goes that one, here goes that one, here goes that one, and here goes that one. Um, I thank God that I always dealt with someone that really knew what the situation really
yeah,
was. You know what I mean? Because that was scary. Even though I knew what it was still a scary situation to have to deal with. Coming home and notes on your door and you're like, "What
mm-hmm,
the hell?" Like, police showing up to my house. But again, like I said, it is
yeah.
scary. I
That's
know
a
from
great point.
experience. It can
So,
be
like,
it
if
can
you
be
are on
scary.
TikTok, the comment was, um, if you are afraid, and I'm gonna kind of paraphrase a little bit. Social services can be very scary. You're right. And church groups, like Celebrate Recovery, are great options to connect with people that may be able to help you or even guide you if you. So, when you have someone in your corner, and people, stop being so judgmental. Like, we're sitting here judging these women, and maybe had they come forward or not felt ashamed to come forward and ask for that, like, we wouldn't be here talking about them today. Like, these kids didn't have to live that kind of life, but they are, and they did. But they didn't, it was completely unnecessary. They did not have to live this way, and it could have been prevented. And for the people that, I don't know, just speak up. If you think someone's struggling, just speak up. Try to guide them into the direction that would be better for them or even for their kids. Because, like I said, there might have been, like you said, there was probably mental health issues, but clearly there was no support system and maybe no addition other family involvement. That's the thing. I know what that's like. It's not like our aunts and uncles. Well, our aunts and uncles was kind of MIA. Didn't even know them, so we can't pretend like that's not a thing. But a lot of times, the extended
Wait,
family is not, and for various reasons.
that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say because I honestly did have the pleasure of, you know, s- knowing some of our
Mm-hmm.
aunties, and I did feel like our grandmother had a pretty good
Yeah, but then
support
how do you?
system. Now she was not getting support from
Mm-hmm.
who she should have been getting support from, which would mean our parents. But I definitely,
Mm-hmm.
on my end, can say that my aunties and my uncles and my older cousins did really step in to assist when
And
you
sometimes you
know.
can't.
I
Like
remember
I'm saying for
hearing.
these women here, that clearly there
Right,
was no family interaction.
right,
And there are reasons,
right,
surely, because maybe there was things going on
right.
that could affect relationships. And not everyone knows how to handle those things, right?
Sure.
So clearly there's a break in the family bond somewhere along the lines. So that's probably a contributing factor as to what happened here. And we're not saying it's anyone's fault. We are
Right,
saying that it's very clear that that happened here.
right,
Um,
right.
so like, and so it can happen. But if you're on the outside looking in, if you know someone who you think you suspect, don't be afraid to reach out and say, "Hey, how you doing?" and maybe help guide them. Like even this week, I read a story about a young mother who was just brand new baby and her friends thought that she was struggling with postpartum. And I thought this story was going to go completely different,
Mm,
but her friends, her girlfriends, thought she was struggling with postpartum, and they were at her house knocking on her door like, "Yo, we are not going away until you open up this door and we can verify that you are okay and your baby's okay." Like it wasn't her family that was doing that, it was her girls. So um, you know,
mm.
don't be afraid to reach out and phone a friend. That's all. Yeah.
Period.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate all the insight that you have given. And if you are on TikTok, catch this over on YouTube because that's where you're going to see this full commentary from our day one listener. Because she's very knowledgeable, and you would love some of the input that she provided for this episode. Again, that was over. You'll see that full episode on YouTube, and it'll be on Facebook for about 30 days. Um, but thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support as always.
As always, feedback, and we are still looking
Mm,
for guests.
mhm. Yeah,
Looking for guests. So if you have a good topic, if you have a story that you would like to share, we are definitely here for it. We do not do politics. So don't come on here talking politics.
ain't
We're
happening.
not going to do it with you.
But anything else, you can send us an
Mhm.
email and this is what you're going to put in that title, people. Send us an email to, and make sure I got the email right, because please don't judge me. Please don't judge me. Oustpodcast@gmail, and in that title you want to say requests/guests. Thank you. Enjoy date. Not me, her. Sends an email to, sorry. It's oh my God. Just
Oh,
make sure
yes.
y'all put that in the title, and it's ouspodcast@gmail, guest or topic request, something of that nature, because we get a lot of junk mail. We don't want to miss it. So title it right so it doesn't get thrown in spam. All right. Thank you
All
guys.
right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.